The independent Lord, he understood that the devotees had arrived and he desired to go meet and greet them. So what does this mean? It means that the devotees saw the flag above the temple. It became an udipan, or a stimulant, a vibhav, udipan, and it stimulated their permanent loving mood towards the Lord, their stahibhav. Then they expressed different anubhavas, like crying or running or shouting. And when we think of the Lord, he thinks of me. Yetam mam prapadyante. As you surrender unto me, I surrender unto you. You think of me, I think of you. This is in the spiritual dynamic relationship of the jiva and Bhagavan. In this material world, a man may be thinking of a woman, and she may not be thinking of him, or vice versa. And sometimes they may be both thinking of each other simultaneously, but rarely. But sometimes, maybe in the beginning, when their poor Varag is there, falling in love. Oh, I'm always thinking of you. And once the man is married and working, then the wife calls up and says, "Are you thinking of me?" He said, "Frankly, no." Frankly, not at all. And he's been away for 1 week on business. "Have you thought of me at all?" To be honest, not at all. Because he's busy and preoccupied, and maybe he has some other interests when he's traveling that may come his way. And the wife may be dutifully and peacefully home and maybe preoccupied with thoughts of him. But Krishna and his beloved devotees are on a transcendental plane, because there's only one consciousness and one heart and one mind, and that's the mind, heart, and consciousness of God. Nityo nityananam chaitanas chaitananam eko bahunam yehu vedadati kaman. That eka, one, is from fulfilling the desires of the many since time immemorial. As it says in Isa Upanishad, the definition of Bhagavan says he's the self. This one line always captured my attention from 1974 when I read this book first time. The self-sufficient philosopher who has been fulfilling everyone's desires since time immemorial. Because we were always interested in philosophy. And this is one line from Isa Upanishad. I can't remember much more about anything, but it's a whole book about Isa Upanishad. It's Upanishadic wisdom, which means it's the upasan, that when one receives his shabda, Brahman, in his ears, that moves his heart near the Lord, near the ishta of his cherished ambition. And that's called anisad, which means asan, ultimately, upanisad. So the ish, to move oneself near the seat or near the position or place of the Lord, this is the teaching of Isa Upanishad. And very nice, the self-sufficient philosopher. So what does this mean? It means that the one is fulfilling desires of the many. So we are one being, and we have so many desires. Our eyes have desire, our hands have desire, our ears have desire, all of our working senses have desire behind them. And who is fulfilling those desires? Me. So in one sense, I am a God in the universe of my body. I, the Atma, am fulfilling the desires of my various senses. My senses are pushing and demanding, and it's called vegams, vacho vegam, manasa krota vegam. Pushings and desirings and hankerings and wants. My eyes want to see something, so I allow them. My ears want to see something, so I allow my ears. I facilitate the desires of my eyes and ears. So I am the God of my body. So we can see that as all these senses are part of me, and they are also me, but I am the one that's fulfilling their desires. Similarly, we conscious particles, we individual sparks of consciousness, nityo nityananam, chaitanas chaitananam, we're eternal sparks of consciousness. We are part and parcels of God's body. And whatever desires we have, He's fulfilling. Just as we the Atma are fulfilling all the desires of this body. So therefore we are actually, that's why it says, you are God, I am God. But we are part of God, one in quality but not in quantity. So therefore, only in a spiritual world can when God is thinking of the living entity, or the living entity is thinking of God, automatically and simultaneously God is thinking of the devotee. This is what's being told here. The independent Lord, it says the Prabhu Janiya Bhakta Goshtir Vijay. Because it says, as I mentioned here, when the devotees saw the flag, they offered obeisances and began to cry. So the obeisances and crying, these are called anubhavs. They followed. The crying, of course, may be an acceleration of an anubhav to the point of a sattvic bhav, where the krodana, crying, ashru.